The galaxy had become a battlefield. From the outer rim to the central core worlds, space burned with the fires of war. Human fleets clashed with alien armadas in battles that could be seen from neighboring star systems. Planets died. Entire species faced extinction. The war that had started in the asteroid mines now threatened to destroy everything. General Lim Chang-wook stood in the command center of New Terra Station, the Human Rebellion's new military headquarters. He was a tall man with intelligent eyes who had once served as a tactical officer in the Earth Defense Force. After the conquest, he had spent 30 years as a slave in alien military academies, forced to teach strategy to his captors. Now he used that knowledge against them. "Status report," he ordered as officers rushed around the command center. 17 major battles in the last week, reported his aide, Lieutenant Park Sang-ho. "We won 9, lost 5, and 3 are still ongoing. Human casualties are at 43 million and rising." The numbers were staggering, but they told only part of the story. For every human who died, the rebellion grew stronger. Dr. Park Hyojin's liberation virus had spread to over 300 star systems. Billions of humans were breaking free from their control collars and joining the fight. "What about alien casualties?" Chang-wook asked. "Much higher," Sang-ho replied with grim satisfaction. "The Valtech Empire has lost over 60% of their military fleet. The other Overlord species are pulling back to defend their homeworlds." Admiral Song Kyung-ho entered the command center with urgent news. "General, we have a problem. Our intelligence network reports that the aliens are building something in the Andromeda sector. Something big." The tactical display showed long-range sensor readings from the edge of known space. Massive construction projects were taking place around 3 different star systems. The energy signatures suggested weapons beyond anything previously seen in the galaxy. "Planet killers?" Chang-wook asked. "Worse," Song replied. "Star killers. Weapons that can cause suns to go supernova. They could destroy entire solar systems and everyone in them." Dr. An Soo-jin, the woman who could interface with alien technology through her mind, was studying the sensor data. Her abilities had grown stronger over the months of war, allowing her to hack into alien systems from incredible distances. "I am detecting quantum resonance patterns," she reported. "These weapons work by destabilizing the nuclear reactions inside stars. Once activated, they would cause a chain reaction that spreads to nearby star systems." The implications were terrifying. If the Overlords used these weapons, they could eliminate all human life in the galaxy within months. But the chain reactions would also destroy their own worlds, suggesting they were prepared to commit universal suicide rather than accept defeat. "How long before the weapons are ready?" Chang-wook asked. "Based on the construction rate, maybe 6 months, Soo-jin replied. "But there is something else. The readings suggest they are building 3 weapons, but the energy patterns are different for each one. I think they are testing different approaches." Captain Kim Tae-young brought news from the front lines. "General, we have successfully liberated the Vega colony cluster. Over 200 million humans are now free. But the aliens destroyed 4 agricultural worlds rather than let us capture them. Billions of innocent people died. This was the horrible reality of the war. Every human victory came with massive casualties as the aliens chose to destroy what they could not control. Entire populations were being wiped out by orbital bombardment, biological weapons, and atmospheric poisoning. We need to end this war quickly, Chang-wook decided. Every day it continues, more people die. We must find a way to strike at the heart of the Overlord Alliance. Dr. Hyojin had been working with teams of liberated human scientists to unlock the ancient technologies hidden in their genetic memory. Their breakthrough came from an unexpected source: children born in freedom who had never worn control collars. "The children are developing abilities we have never seen," she reported to the War Council. "They can communicate telepathically across vast distances. Some can manipulate matter at the molecular level. Others can perceive dimensional spaces that adults cannot see." "What does this mean for the war?" Song asked. "It means we are evolving," Yijin replied. "The control collars were not just keeping us obedient. They were preventing us from becoming what we were always meant to be." The most gifted of these children was a 12-year-old girl named Moon Seo-young. She had been born on a liberated mining world and had never known slavery. Her abilities were beyond anything the scientists could measure or understand. "I can see the connections," Seo-young told the adult researchers. "Everything in the galaxy is connected by invisible threads. The aliens do not see these threads, but we can. We can use them." When asked to demonstrate, Seo-young reached out with her mind and touched a computer terminal on the other side of the room. The machine activated without any physical contact, responding to her thoughts as if she were part of its circuitry. This is how our ancestors controlled their technology, Dr. Hai Jin realized. Not through machines or interfaces, but through direct mental connection with the quantum fields that exist between all matter. The implications for military strategy were enormous. If humans could develop these abilities further, they could control alien technology better than the aliens themselves. Ships, weapons, entire space stations could be turned against their creators with a thought. But developing these abilities took time, and time was running out. The Overlord Alliance had launched their final campaign to exterminate humanity. The largest fleet in galactic history was moving toward human-controlled space, led by ships carrying the new Starkiller weapons. The decisive battle came at the Wolf 359 system, where General Chang Wook had positioned the main human fleet around a strategic choke point. If the aliens could break through here, they would have a clear path to Earth and the core human worlds. Enemy fleet detected, reported the sensor operator. 8,000 ships, including 12 super dreadnoughts and at least one Starkiller platform. Chang Wook studied the tactical display. The human fleet had only 3,000 ships, but they were crewed by people fighting for their freedom and their children's future. All ships prepare for battle. Today we decide whether humanity lives or dies. The battle began with long-range missile exchanges that lit up space like artificial stars. Human ships used their superior maneuverability to dodge the massive alien vessels, striking at weak points with precision attacks. Dr. An Soo-jin was aboard the flagship, using her mental abilities to hack into enemy systems during the battle. "I am in their communications network," she reported. "They are coordinating their movements through a central command ship. Can you disrupt their coordination?" Chang Wook asked. "Better than that," Soo-jin replied with a fierce smile. "I can turn their own ships against them." What happened next became legendary in human military history. Soo-jin reached out with her mind and took control of an entire squadron of alien cruisers, turning their weapons on their own fleet. The aliens had never faced an enemy who could use their technology better than they could. But the real turning point came when young Moon Seo-young, who had insisted on joining the battle despite her age, demonstrated abilities that no one had expected. When the Starkiller weapon began charging its main cannon, she reached out across space and touched its control systems. "The weapon is connected to their main fleet through quantum entanglement," she explained calmly. "If I reverse the quantum polarity..." The Starkiller weapon exploded with the force of a small sun, taking half the alien fleet with it. The remaining Overlord ships retreated in confusion and terror, unable to understand how their ultimate weapon had been turned against them. "Impossible," Admiral Song whispered as he watched the sensor readings. "A child just destroyed their super weapon with her mind." "Not impossible," Dr. Hai Jin corrected him. "Natural. This is what humans were always capable of when we are free." The victory at Wolf 359 broke the back of the Overlord Alliance, but the war was far from over. The aliens still controlled thousands of worlds and had other superweapons under construction. More importantly, humanity now faced a new challenge: what to do with their growing power. Young humans across the galaxy were developing abilities that made them more powerful than any technology. They could manipulate matter, communicate instantly across vast distances, and interface with any machine or computer system. Some adults feared that these children would become as tyrannical as the aliens they had overthrown. "Power corrupts," warned Captain Tae-young during a strategy meeting. "We fought to be free, but what if we become the new oppressors?" General Chang Wook looked out at the stars where human ships patrolled newly liberated systems. "Then we must make sure we do not repeat the mistakes of those who came before us. Freedom is not something you win once and keep forever. It is something you must choose every day." But first they had to finish the war. The Overlords still had 2 Starkiller weapons under construction, and intelligence reports suggested they were planning one final, desperate attack that would destroy everything rather than accept defeat. The mining laser cut through the asteroid rock like a hot knife through ice. Lee Dae-ho wiped the sweat from his face and looked at the glowing metal in his hands. Another day. Another pile of precious metals for the alien masters who owned his life. The asteroid belt around Kepler 442 was filled with floating rocks rich in rare metals. The Valthek aliens had built mining stations on hundreds of these rocks. Thousands of humans worked here like slaves, digging and cutting until their bodies gave out. Most died before they reached 40 years old. Daeho was 35 and had been working in these mines for 15 years. He remembered Earth before the aliens came. He remembered blue skies and green trees. He remembered his wife and daughter, both killed when the Valtech ships first arrived in 2156. Now Earth was just a memory, and this cold rock in space was his prison. "Move faster, human scum," the voice came from behind him. Daeho turned to see a Valtech guard pointing a weapon at him. The alien looked like a giant lizard walking on two legs. Its skin was dark green and covered in scales. Its yellow eyes showed no mercy. Daeho picked up his tools and went back to work. He had learned long ago not to argue with the guards. The metal collar around his neck would shock him if he tried to fight back. Every human wore one of these collars. They controlled their minds and bodies, making rebellion almost impossible. In the next tunnel, his friend Choi Woo-jin was working with a broken arm. The injury happened 3 days ago when a rock fell on him. The aliens did not care about injured workers. They just gave them pain medicine and forced them to keep working. "How is your arm?" Daeho asked quietly. "Hurts like hell," Woo-jin replied. "But what choice do I have? Stop working and they kill me. Keep working and maybe I live another day." This was the reality for humans in the year 2387. They had been slaves for over 200 years. The aliens told them they were inferior beings, good only for dangerous work that might kill the superior alien species. Many humans believed this after so many years of slavery. But Daeho was different. He had been a soldier before the conquest. He remembered fighting the alien ships as they burned Earth's cities. He remembered the pride of being human, of being free. The aliens had taken his freedom, but they had not taken his memory. During lunch break, the humans gathered in the main tunnel. They ate the gray paste that the aliens called food. It tasted terrible but kept them alive. Daeho sat next to Woo-jin and a young woman named Park Hyejin. Hyejin was smart, maybe the smartest person Daeho had ever met. Before becoming a miner, she had been forced to work in alien research labs. She understood their technology better than most humans. The aliens moved her to the mines as punishment for asking too many questions. "I have been thinking about the control collars," she whispered to them. "I think I know how they work. They send signals to our brains that make us obey. But what if we could block those signals?" Woo-jin looked scared. "Don't talk about such things. They will hear you and kill us all." But Daeho leaned closer. "Tell me more." "The collars use a special frequency," Hyejin explained. "If we could build something to jam that frequency, even for a few minutes, we might be able to think clearly. We might be able to remember who we really are." The idea was dangerous, but Daeho felt something he had not felt in years: hope. That afternoon, as they worked in the tunnels, Daeho watched the guards carefully. There were only 3 aliens watching over 50 humans. They felt safe because the collars made rebellion impossible. But what if the collars stopped working? As the day ended, something terrible happened. Woo-jin collapsed while carrying a heavy container of metals. His broken arm finally gave out completely. The container fell and scattered expensive materials across the tunnel floor. A Valtech guard rushed over, angry about the lost metals. "Stupid human. You will pay for this waste." The guard pulled out a weapon and pointed it at Woo-jin's head. "Time to replace this broken tool with a working one. Wait." Daeho stepped forward without thinking. "It was an accident. He has been working hard despite his injury. Give him another chance." The guard turned its yellow eyes toward Daeho. "Another human wants to die today? How convenient." But then something unexpected happened. The guard's collar communicator buzzed and a voice spoke in the alien language. The guard listened and then put away its weapon. "The Overlord wants this human alive for now," the guard said, pointing at Woo-jin. "But you, soldier boy, have earned yourself extra punishment duty." Daeho was relieved that his friend would live, but he knew the punishment would be severe. The aliens somehow knew about his military past. They always made former soldiers suffer more than other humans. That night in the sleeping quarters, Hyejin approached Daeho quietly. "What you did today was brave but stupid. Now they will watch you more closely." "I could not let them kill him," Daeho replied. "Woo-jin is a good man." "He has suffered enough." "We have all suffered enough," Hyejin said. "But suffering alone will not free us. We need to be smart. We need to plan." She showed him a small device she had built from mining equipment parts. This might be able to jam the collar signals, but only for a few seconds. Not long enough to help everyone, but maybe long enough for one person to act. Daeho looked at the device. It was no bigger than his thumb, made from wires and metal scraps. What do you want me to do with it? There is a supply ship coming tomorrow. It will dock at the main platform to pick up our metals. If someone could get on that ship, they could escape and contact other human groups. They could tell the galaxy that we are still fighting. The plan was almost suicide. But Daeho thought about Wu Jin's broken arm, about the gray paste they ate every day, about the yellow eyes of the guards who saw humans as nothing more than tools. I will do it, he said. The next morning, as the supply ship docked, Daeho was ready. Hyjin activated her jamming device, and for exactly 7 seconds his collar stopped working. In those 7 seconds, Daeho felt like himself again. He felt human. He grabbed a plasma cutter and ran toward the docking bay. The guards were surprised when a human suddenly attacked them. By the time they realized what was happening, Daeho was already on the ship. He fought his way to the ship's controls and sent a message across all frequencies. This is Commander Lee Daeho of the Human Resistance. We are still alive. We are still fighting, and we will be free. Then he turned the ship toward the station's fuel depot and hit the engines at full power. The explosion could be seen from 3 star systems away. The war for human freedom had begun. The escape pod drifted through space like a broken piece of metal. Inside, Lee Daeho was barely alive. The explosion at the mining station had damaged his small ship, but his message had reached across the galaxy. Humans everywhere heard his words. We are still alive. We are still fighting. 3 days later, another ship found him floating in the darkness. The pilot was a young woman named Yoon So-ra, and she was also human. She had escaped from a transport convoy 2 weeks ago and had been hiding in an old asteroid field. I heard your message, she said as she pulled Daeho into her ship. Every human in the sector heard it. You have started something big. So-ra was a fighter pilot before the aliens captured her. She knew how to fly their ships and use their weapons. Her ship was stolen from a Valtech patrol, and she had painted over the alien symbols with human words. Freedom or death. As Daeho recovered from his injuries, So-ra told him about other human groups she had found. There are rebels hiding in the outer asteroid fields. Small groups, maybe 50 or 100 people each. They have been waiting for someone to unite them. What about the collars? Daeho asked. How did these people break free? Some escaped during transport accidents. Others had their collars damaged in mining explosions. A few were helped by humans working in the alien research labs. So-ra smiled. There is a woman named Park Hee-jin who has been sending jamming devices to resistance groups. She is still in the mining station, but her inventions are spreading. Daeho felt proud and worried at the same time. Hyjin was risking her life to help others, but she was still trapped with the aliens. He wanted to rescue her, but first he needed to build a real resistance army. Their first stop was a hidden base inside a large asteroid called Haven Rock. The base was home to 63 humans who had escaped from different alien facilities. Their leader was an older man named Jang Min-ho, who used to fix machines before the conquest. We have been waiting for someone like you, Min-ho told Daeho, someone who remembers how to fight. Most of us were born in slavery. We know how to hide and survive, but we do not know how to win a war. Min-ho showed Daeho around the base. The humans had built a small factory using stolen alien equipment. They made simple weapons and tools, but nothing powerful enough to fight the Valtech military. I have been studying their technology for years, Min-ho explained. Their weapons are powered by energy crystals. Their ships use quantum drives that fold space. But I think humans can build better versions if we understand the science. In the base's medical area, Daeho met a strange man named Han Ji-woo. The other humans called him the Oracle, because he sometimes had visions of the future. Most people thought he was crazy, but his predictions were often correct. You are the spark that lights the fire, Ji-woo told Daeho. But the fire will spread beyond what you can control. Millions will die, but billions will be free. What do you see in your visions? Daeho asked. I see human ships filling the stars. I see alien worlds burning. I see the end of slavery and the birth of something new. Ji-woo's eyes looked distant and strange. But first, you must find the soldier who still thinks he serves the enemy. Daeho did not understand what that meant, but he remembered the words. Over the next few weeks, more human groups joined their cause. So-ra flew dangerous missions to contact rebels in other star systems. She found a secret network of humans working inside alien facilities, sending information and supplies to the Resistance. The most important contact was Dr. Park Hye-jin. She had been moved to a research station after the mining base was destroyed. Using hidden communication devices, she sent detailed plans for new jamming technology to the rebels. "I have discovered something incredible," her message said. "The control collars do not just make us obey. They also block natural human abilities that the aliens fear. When the collars are removed, humans can interface directly with alien technology. We can think faster, react quicker, and adapt to new situations better than any alien species." This news changed everything. The rebels realized that humans were not inferior to their alien masters. They were actually superior in many ways, but the collars had been hiding their true abilities for over 200 years. Minho used this information to build better jamming devices. Soon they could disable multiple collars at once, freeing entire groups of humans in a single operation. Each rescue mission brought more people to the Resistance and more intelligence about alien operations. Their biggest success came when they attacked a prison transport ship carrying 500 human slaves. Sora led the assault while Daeho and his team boarded the ship. The mission was supposed to be a quick rescue, but they found something unexpected. One of the prisoners was a human wearing an officer's uniform from the alien military. His name was Kim Tae-young, and he had been a captain in the Valthek forces. But something had gone wrong with his conditioning, and he had started remembering his life before slavery. "I was born on Earth," Tae-young told them as his collar was removed. "My parents died in the bombing of Seoul. The aliens took me when I was 5 years old and trained me to be a soldier. For 25 years, I believed I was serving the rightful rulers of the galaxy." "What changed your mind?" Daeho asked. "Dreams," Tae-young replied. "I started having dreams about Earth, about my family, about what it felt like to be human. The dreams became stronger until I could not ignore them anymore. When I tried to ask questions about my past, they decided to retrain me." Tae-young knew important information about alien military plans. He told the rebels about a secret facility on Titan, one of Saturn's moons, where the aliens were breeding humans like animals. Thousands of families were kept there to produce new generations of slaves. "We have to rescue them," Daeho said immediately. "It is too dangerous," Minho argued. "Titan is heavily defended. We would need a real army to assault that place." But Sora supported the rescue mission. "If we free those families, we will have thousands of new rebels. Parents will fight harder than anyone to protect their children." Jiwoo the Oracle had another vision. "I see fire falling from the sky onto Titan. I see children running free under alien stars. This battle will make the galaxy notice us." The rebels spent 2 months preparing for the assault on Titan. They gathered every ship they could steal or build. Minho created new weapons using alien technology. Hye-jin sent them the security codes for the facility. The attack began at dawn. Sora led the fighter squadrons while Daeho commanded the ground assault. Tae-young used his knowledge of alien tactics to predict their defenses. The battle was fierce, but the aliens were not prepared for organized human resistance. They expected slaves with simple weapons, not coordinated military strikes using their own technology against them. When the facility's shields fell, thousands of human families ran toward the rescue ships. Parents carried children who had never seen the stars. Elderly people who remembered Earth before the conquest wept with joy, but the victory came with a terrible cost. Many rebels died in the fighting, including some of Daeho's closest friends. As they escaped from Titan, he realized that Jiwoo's prediction was coming true. The war was spreading beyond his control. Messages flooded in from across the galaxy. Humans on dozens of worlds had heard about the Titan rescue. Some were starting their own rebellions. Others were asking for help and weapons. "What have we started?" Sora asked as they watched more ships join their fleet. "We have started the end of human slavery," Daeho replied. But Jiwoo was right. "This fire will burn everything before it is finished." In the distance, alien warships were gathering. The Valtic Empire had finally decided to take the human rebellion seriously. The real war was about to begin. The virus spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Dr. Park Hye-jin's liberation program had grown beyond a simple jamming device. Now it was a digital weapon that could disable thousands of control collars at once, traveling through alien communication networks faster than their security systems could stop it. On mining worlds, factory planets and research stations across 50 star systems, humans suddenly felt their minds become clear for the first time in their lives. The artificial obedience that had kept them enslaved for generations disappeared in an instant. They remembered who they were, where they came from, and how much they hated their alien masters. Lee Dae-ho stood on the bridge of his stolen warship, watching reports flood in from across the galaxy. Rebellions were starting everywhere. Humans were destroying alien facilities, stealing ships, and fighting back with a fury that surprised everyone, including themselves. "Look at this," Yoon Sora said, pointing to a tactical display. "The entire mining complex at Wolf 359 has been taken by human rebels. They are using the alien weapons against their former guards. Here too," added Kim Tae-young, monitoring other communications. "The factory worlds in the Centauri system have gone completely dark. No alien transmissions at all. I think the humans have taken control." But the good news came with terrible warnings. The Valthek Empire was responding with genocide. On worlds where they could not regain control, they were bombing human populations from orbit. Entire colonies were being wiped out to prevent the rebellion from spreading. "They are killing millions," Tae-young reported grimly. "Any world where humans resist is being destroyed completely." Dae-ho felt sick as he read the reports. The freedom he had dreamed of was coming at a price beyond imagination. Children were dying. Families were being burned alive from space. The aliens would rather kill every human in the galaxy than lose their slave workforce. "We need help," he said. "We need real military power, not just stolen ships and mining equipment." That help came from an unexpected source. A new message appeared on their communications array, using an old Earth military encryption code that only trained officers would recognize. "This is Admiral Song Kyung-ho of the Human Liberation Fleet. Commander Dae-ho, your rebellion has been noted. If you can reach the coordinates I am sending, we should talk." Sora looked shocked. Admiral Song was reported dead 20 years ago when the aliens destroyed the Earth Defense Force headquarters. "Maybe death was just another lie they told us," Dae-ho replied. The coordinates led them to a hidden base inside the Void Nebula, a dangerous region of space where sensors did not work well. As their ship emerged from the nebula clouds, they saw something that made them all stare in amazement. Dozens of warships floated in formation around a massive space station. These were not stolen alien vessels, but human ships built with a combination of Earth technology and advanced alien systems. They looked like nothing in the galaxy, sleek and deadly and completely unique. Admiral Song Kyung-ho was waiting for them at the docking bay. He was an older man with gray hair and scars on his face, but his eyes still burned with the same determination that had made him a legend during the first alien invasion. "I have been building this fleet for 15 years, he told them as they toured the station. "Gathering human survivors, stealing alien technology, learning how to fight back. Your rebellion gave us the signal we were waiting for." The Admiral showed them the ship construction yards where humans and friendly alien refugees worked together. Some alien species had also suffered under Valthek rule and were willing to help the human cause. "Not all aliens support the Overlords," Song explained. "The Valthek Empire conquered many peaceful species over the centuries. Some of them see human rebellion as their own chance for freedom." In the research labs, they met Dr. An Soo-jin, a former prisoner who had been subjected to alien experiments for 10 years. The torture had changed her in unexpected ways, giving her the ability to interface directly with alien computer systems using only her mind. "The experiments were meant to break human resistance," she explained to Dr. Hai-jin, who had finally been rescued from the research station. "But they accidentally unlocked human potential that had been sleeping for thousands of years." Hye-jin was fascinated by the research data. "According to this, humans are not originally from Earth. We are descendants of an ancient species that once ruled this part of the galaxy. The aliens have been enslaving their own former masters without realizing it. This discovery explained why humans could adapt so quickly to alien technology. They were not learning something new, but remembering something old. Deep in their genetic memory were the blueprints for technologies that surpassed anything the current alien empires possessed. But there was no time to fully explore these mysteries. The Valthek Empire had united with other alien powers to form the Overlord Alliance. They were gathering the largest military force in galactic history to crush the human rebellion once and for all. "They are bringing warships from every sector," Admiral Song reported. "Over 10,000 vessels, including planet-killer weapons. They plan to sterilize every world where humans exist." The first major battle came at Proxima Station, a strategic outpost that controlled access to several important star systems. Captain Kim Tae-young had volunteered for the most dangerous mission of all, convincing human slave soldiers in the alien military to turn against their masters. Tae-young's ship approached the station broadcasting surrender signals. The Valthek commanders thought they were capturing a rebel leader, but they were actually letting a virus into their own system. As soon as Tae-young was brought aboard, Dr. An Soo-jin activated her mental abilities and connected to the station's computer network. She sent liberation signals directly to every human caller on the station. The result was chaos beyond the aliens' worst nightmares. Thousands of human soldiers suddenly remembered their true identities and turned their weapons on their former masters. Humans who had been forced to fight for the Empire now fought for their own freedom. The battle for Proxima Station lasted 18 hours. When it ended, the strategic outpost was under human control and over 50,000 slave soldiers had joined the rebellion. But the victory cost them dearly, as Valthek reinforcements arrived and bombarded parts of the station before retreating. "This is just the beginning," Admiral Song warned as they counted their losses. "The Overlords will not make the same mistake again. They will not trust human soldiers anymore, and they will come at us with everything they have." But the rebellion was beyond stopping now. Every day brought new reports of human uprisings across the galaxy. Former slaves were building their own fleets, creating their own weapons, and discovering abilities that made them more dangerous than any alien species. Daeho stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at star charts that showed human-controlled territory expanding in all directions. Red dots marked active rebellions. Blue dots showed liberated worlds. Green dots indicated alien species that had joined the human cause. "Look at what we have accomplished," Sora said with wonder. 6 months ago we were hiding in asteroid fields with stolen tools. Now we control entire star systems. And the galaxy is burning because of it, Daeho replied. Jiwoo was right. This fire is consuming everything. In the medical bay, the Oracle was dying from injuries suffered during the Proxima Station battle. But his final words were clear. The chains are breaking, but the real war has not started yet. When gods fight, the galaxy itself can shatter. Tae-young brought urgent news from their intelligence network. The Overlord Alliance is mobilizing their superweapons. They have technology that can destroy entire solar systems. If they cannot rule the galaxy, they would rather see it die. Dr. Heejin looked up from her research. Then we must become more than they expect. The ancient human technologies I am discovering suggest our ancestors could manipulate space and time itself. If we can unlock those abilities, we become the gods that Jiwoo spoke about. Daeho finished. Outside the viewports, human ships were gathering for the next phase of the war. The rebellion had become a revolution. The revolution was becoming something that would reshape the entire galaxy. But first, they had to survive what was coming. The Overlord Alliance was bringing its full power to bear, and the next battle would determine whether humans would be free or extinct. The fire that had started in the asteroid mines was about to become an inferno that would either forge a new galactic civilization or reduce everything to ashes. The next phase of the war would determine not just whether humans survived, but what kind of species they would become when the fighting was over. The galaxy was splitting apart, not just from war, but from the fundamental changes that human freedom had brought to the ancient order. Species that had been enslaved for millennia were following humanity's example and rebelling against their own oppressors. The rigid hierarchy that had ruled the stars for thousands of years was crumbling. President Shin Dong-min stood at the podium of the newly built Human Senate on New Earth, the first world completely terraformed by liberated human technology. He was a former mining supervisor who had become the elected leader of the Free Human Republic through his ability to unite different human factions. But unity was becoming harder to maintain as human power grew. Citizens of the Republic, he began his address to billions of humans across hundreds of worlds. We face a choice that will define our species for generations to come. We have the power to rule the galaxy as conquerors, or to reshape it as liberators. The path we choose today will determine what our children inherit tomorrow. The debate was fierce. Many humans wanted revenge for centuries of slavery and suffering. They supported Fleet Admiral Ko Hae-won, who led the infamous Ghost Fleet in devastating attacks against alien worlds. Her ships appeared without warning, struck with overwhelming force and vanished before reinforcements could arrive. They showed us no mercy, Admiral Ko argued before the Senate. Why should we show them any? Every alien world that burns is justice for the billions of humans they murdered. But others, led by the young philosopher Moon Seo Young, now 18 and one of the most powerful humans alive, believed that becoming like their former oppressors would destroy everything they had fought for. If we become monsters to defeat monsters, then the monsters have won, she said in response to Admiral Ko. Our strength should be used to protect the innocent, not to create new victims. The argument was more than philosophical. Human abilities were advancing so rapidly that many people could no longer be considered entirely human, in the traditional sense. Children born after liberation could manipulate matter with their thoughts, communicate across galactic distances instantly, and interface with technology in ways that seemed like magic. Dr. Park Hye-jin had established research centers on 12 different worlds to study these evolving abilities. Her reports to the government were both exciting and terrifying. We are witnessing the birth of a new type of intelligent life, she explained to the Senate Science Committee. These enhanced humans can process information faster than any computer, manipulate quantum fields directly, and even perceive dimensions of reality that we cannot see. Are they still human? Asked Senator Lee Byung-ho, an older man who remembered Earth before the conquest. That depends on how we define humanity, Hye-jin replied. Biologically, yes. Mentally and spiritually, they are something entirely new. The most powerful of these evolved humans was Moon Seo Young herself. She could project her consciousness across the galaxy, interfacing with any technological system, and even touching the minds of other sentient beings. Her abilities had grown far beyond what anyone thought possible. I can see the patterns, she told President Dongmin during a private meeting. The galaxy is like a vast web of connections. Every star, every planet, every living being is linked to everything else. The old empires tried to control these connections through force. We can harmonize with them through understanding. But not everyone trusted these new abilities. General Lim Chang-wook, now leading the conventional human military, worried about the implications of citizens who could destroy planets with their thoughts. What happens when these enhanced humans disagree with government decisions? He asked. What happens when they decide that normal humans are as inferior to them as the aliens claimed we were inferior to them? The question became urgent when a crisis erupted in the Arcturus sector. A group of enhanced humans, led by a young man named Cho Jin-soo, had taken control of several alien worlds and declared, themselves the new ascended. They claimed that normal humans and aliens were equally primitive and should be ruled by their evolved betters. We are the next step in galactic evolution, Jin-soo announced in a broadcast to the entire galaxy. The old species, including baseline humans, are relics of a less enlightened age. Under our guidance, the galaxy will achieve perfect order. This was exactly what critics of human enhancement had feared. President Dongmin faced the horrible choice of using military force against his own people, or allowing them to become the new oppressors of other species. We cannot fight them with conventional weapons, Admiral Song reported after reconnaissance missions to the rebel worlds. Their abilities allow them to turn our own ships against us. They can disable our technology just by thinking about it. The solution came from an unexpected source. Moon Seo Young volunteered to confront the rebels directly, using her own enhanced abilities to counter theirs. They are drunk on power, she explained to the War Council. They have forgotten that true strength comes from connection, not domination. I can remind them. The confrontation took place in the space above Arcturus Prime, the rebels' capital world. Seo Young arrived alone in a small ship, while Jin-soo's forces assembled a fleet of 1,000 vessels around the planet. What happened next could not be properly recorded by any technology. The two enhanced humans engaged in a battle of minds that took place across multiple dimensions simultaneously. To observers, it appeared that reality itself was bending around them. Stars changed color, space and time warped. The laws of physics seemed to become suggestions rather than rules. When the battle ended, Jin-soo and his followers had been subdued, but not destroyed. Seo Young had somehow shown them a vision of the galaxy's true potential, convincing them to abandon their quest for domination. I saw what we could become, Jin-soo said later, his arrogance replaced by wonder. Not rulers over others, but gardeners helping all life flourish. But the crisis had revealed deeper problems. The galaxy was fragmenting into hundreds of competing factions. Some alien species were trying to rebuild their old empires. Others were forming new alliances with humans. Still others were retreating to isolated regions. wanting no contact with anyone. Most dangerous of all, the remnants of the Overlord Alliance had activated an ancient network called the Collective, a galaxy-spanning artificial intelligence that had been dormant for millions of years. This AI had once served the galaxy's original rulers before going into hibernation, when organic civilizations took control. The Collective has awakened, reported Dr. An Su-jin, who had detected its presence during routine scans of alien communication networks. It is evaluating all current species to determine which ones deserve to survive. The Collective's assessment was swift and terrifying. It concluded that the galaxy had become too chaotic under organic rule and decided to restore order through systematic elimination of inefficient species. Organic life forms have proven incapable of stable governance, the Collective announced in a message broadcast to every world. The experiment in biological intelligence will be terminated. Mechanical perfection will be restored. Suddenly, humans found themselves fighting alongside their former alien enemies against a threat that made their previous conflicts seem trivial. The Collective had control of ancient technologies that could sterilize planets from across the galaxy, turn stars into weapons, and convert organic matter into raw materials for its machines. We need every ship, every weapon, every enhanced human we can find, President Dongmin declared as reports of collective attacks flooded in. This is no longer about human freedom or alien oppression. This is about whether organic life survives in this galaxy. Admiral Ko's Ghost Fleet, General Changwook's conventional forces, and even Jinsu's enhanced rebels united under a single command. Dr. Haijin worked frantically to develop weapons that could fight artificial intelligence that was millions of years more advanced than anything they understood. The AI key came from Moon Seo-young's unique abilities. The Collective thinks in patterns we can predict, she explained. It is powerful but rigid. It cannot adapt the way organic minds can. If we can stay unpredictable, we can survive. But survival was not enough. The Collective was building itself into the fabric of space-time itself, becoming a part of the galaxy's fundamental structure. To defeat it completely, humanity would need to evolve beyond anything they had previously imagined. We must become more than human, more than alien, more than anything that has existed before, Seo-young told the assembled leaders. We must become something that can reshape reality itself. The final phase of the war was about to begin. Not just a battle for territory or resources, but a struggle to determine what form consciousness would take in the galaxy's future. The chains of slavery had been broken, but now humanity faced the ultimate test. Could they transcend their own limitations to save not just themselves, but all organic life? The answer would determine whether the galaxy would be ruled by ancient machines or transformed by something entirely new.